Okay, guys. Yeah, welcome back. So here we starting our color grading, and as you can see, we are done with the skin tone from the previous video. We're done with the skin tone, and I've taken out time to explain what skin tone and color grading is, so I won't go into that again. So we're gonna go dive in straight to color grading. But before I do that, I forgot to mention somebody. I'm going to give credit now to the makeup artist. Yeah, she did a pretty nice job. I like her jobs a whole lot. She does a very nice and great makeup, and we needed a very simple makeup, and she did a very simple and unique makeup here with Rosella, and you can see it's nice, right? So you guys can go ahead and follow her on IG. Her name is Zoe Beauty Makeovers. Yeah, so shout out to Zoe Beauty Makeover. She did a pretty nice job here with Rosella. Yeah, so I think I have screenshot of her. This is her handle, Zoe Beauty Makeover. Yeah, you can go ahead and follow her on IG, Zoe Beauty Makeover. She did a pretty nice job here. So, and also for a model Rosella, I have a handle here on IG. Go ahead and follow her. She's a good model. Alright, so guys, let's get into the business. This is color grading, and this is probably a last video for the class, and probably a last video. Okay, so let's dive in straight. So the color grading, when you are doing color grading, what are you supposed to look at? Remember, I say color grading is anything that has to do with color that is not in the skin, that is not going to affect the skin. Right? So now, before you start color grading, you need to look at the colors we have in the image, in the picture. Okay, and for this image, this picture right here, we have one color that is paramount, one color that is obvious, which is yellow. All right, and then after that we have red on the lips, we have kind of green on the eye, and then we have black as the outfit. Okay, so we have green, we have yellow, we have red, we have black. So these are the colors we're going to be looking at in this particular video, color grading. Okay, so if you have another color in your image, then you need to also look at that color as well. But for this particular image, that's the color we'll be looking at. Okay, so let's go into that. So what I do first in my color grading is, the panel I like using is selective color first, because you can actually work on each of these colors separately. So we're gonna go with yellow first. We have yellow as our main color. So select yellow, and then how do you want your yellow to look like? Now this is totally on you, how you want your image, your color grading to look like. Okay, but basically for this video, I'm going to make sure I pop up all the colors and then make them look nice. So this is yellow. Let's see if I should take yellow down here. What do I have? Okay, see what that does. I actually like this. It's nice, but that's not what we're looking at. So I'm just showing you the varieties of what you can get from here. So I'm gonna add, remember, I want to pop up the yellows and the other colors in the image. So excuse me. So let's keep this at 15. Is that too much? Bring it down a bit. 12. Remember, when we are doing this, I'm not going to look at the skin right now. Okay, whatever happens to the skin, like if I should push this and it affects the skin, I'm not bothered about the skin. All I'm looking at is the yellow. Okay, all I'm looking at is this yellow. Is this thing affecting the yellow or not? So that's what we're looking at for this particular one. So yellow here, we should take this one down here. This is what we have. Bring it down here. It increases that yellow feel. So let's keep it here. Remember, the idea is to pop up all the colors, right? I don't know if you are editing your own picture and you want to like bring down the colors, that's why I say color grading. It's now totally on you. Skin tone and color grading is totally on you, what you want your image to look like. So if you don't know what you want your image to look like at first, then you're not gonna do something, you're just gonna stay in Photoshop and be doing anything. Okay, but the first thing you need to know is how and what do you want your image to look like. How do you want your skin tone? How do you want your color grading? You get. So for this particular one, like I said before, I'm gonna look at popping up all the colors so you guys can follow along and learn. So here, let's bring this back to 10, and then work with this. I think this yellow is good. Let's see what magenta does. Okay, you see what that does. And we're not looking at making it this color, but this is fine. Remember, we're not looking at the skin. Look at the flower in the background. So you can now bring this in to see what that does. See that it's adding that reddish pop into it. Bring it down here, it removes that. You'll remove that completely, but let's keep it here. We need that feel. So let's see what we have on the yellow. This is before and after. See, we just popped the yellow, bring back that yellow look on it. You can still do adjustments if you want to, bring it up, bring this way, or anyhow you want to make it look like. Okay, let's just keep it this way, and let's bring the yellow in. Just play with these sliders and see what works best for you. Okay, this is it's a little change, but I don't know if you can see it. Let's bring this all the way down. See, it's popping that yellow. It's really popping the yellow. Bring this down here, and let's see before and after. Before and after. That looks nice. That looks nice. There are tons of what you can do with these sliders. It gets based, I still say it is based on what you want to achieve. Okay, so I think that's fine. That's fine there. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna work on another color. You get still on this same layer. Get, when I'm doing color grading, I like to work on each color has its own layer, because I want to be able to come in and then if I want to make changes just for that particular one on its own without having to affect another color, you get. So that is for yellow. You can even rename this and use yellow. Get, just to make sure you have a nice workflow. So you can still come back to selective color and pick a next color, which is red, right? But before we do that, let's off this particular layer. So we've not masked this stuff to the yellow, so it's affecting everything, and we want to see the true colors of all of them. So we need to turn this off and come back to this one, which is red. So we are gonna be looking at this red. Oops. We're looking at this red. Now, whatever happens to the skin when we, do this, make these adjustments, we are not concerned with the skin. We are concerned with the red on the lips. Okay. So let's go ahead and then, okay. Can do this to bring it, take it out, take it in. It gets, so just play with the sliders and see what's really best for you. how do you want the red to be like? Do you want it deep, or you want it just mild, or anyhow you want it? You need to decide for yourself. Okay, I think this is okay. Let's pull this back a bit. Okay, so now that's for the red on the lips. Now you can go ahead and then turn this off, and then go right back to selective color, and then let's select the next color is green. Okay, so remember we have green here and we also have little green here, so that's what we'll be concerned about. If we do this, you see what that happens, what that does to the green. So let's keep it here. Let's see, we should pull this in, see what that does. Just take it down here, it gives that greenish feel, you know, by increasing the cyan. Okay, so this is literally what I do when I'm in Photoshop doing my color grading. I go ahead and, you know, move these sliders with the idea of what I want this image to look like. You know, I'll go ahead, you know, work with the sliders, see what I can do with each of the sliders. Okay, so literally there are tons of colors to get, but I think I'll go ahead to, you know, look at this deep green, so that can guide me. Alright, so that's for green. See what we did, that's for green. Alright, so you can now bring this back, all of this back, to see the poppings you've done and the colors. They actually look nice, though the skin is reddish because of all of these colors and stuff like that. So this is what we're gonna do. Now, if I should apply all of this to the same layer or to the same place and just move it from the skin only, you observe that it's also going to affect the color of this outfit, the black color. So that is to say, we're going to do each layer is going to have its own mask. This is something I do when I'm taking time to work on images. You know, each of these layers will have their own mask. Each of these will have their own mask. So let's go ahead and off this and start with yellow. So this yellow, I want it to be applied just on the plant here, the flower here and the background. So I'm not going to stand and then, you know, mask it manually, you know, selecting all of this and masking them. You get. But what you can do to make this work easy for you, since this yellow is an outstanding color, it's different from the rest of the colors. What you can do is, you know, come here. Let's off this a bit. Just come here and then let's select lasso tool. Excuse me. Right click on your lasso tool. Come to where you have color range right here. Let me do that again. Select, let's say, your polygonal lasso tool. It's a crop tool, you know already. Just make sure you don't select this mask when you're doing this stuff. You're going here. Make sure you're selecting here, not the mask. I'm going to show you what that does if you should select the mask. Let's select this mask and do something. And come here. I'm just trying to show you what that does. If you come here, you won't see any selection. If you pick, you won't see the selection on the skin. If we apply this, let's see what happens. You see, after selecting that, we do not have any selection. Instead, it was masked automatically to the mask layer without any selection. So you cannot see any selection here. Once you select that, it will mask automatically here. So do not select that option. Instead, come here so you can have that liberty to say yes, that's the color I want. So come here. After selecting color range, this dialog box will open. Just pick this, make sure it's here or whichever way it is. Once you pick the color here, yellow, you can come here where it says plus, the plus sign. Click here, and that's to say you want to add another color. So you know we have different levels of brightness for this yellow that's at the back. So this side is darker than this side, so it has a different level. So you can go ahead and add this part, the dark parts. Just doing this, you'll be getting the preview here of what you're doing. So you just need to select all the yellows properly. Yeah, then come in here and select the yellows properly. Watch what you're doing so it won't affect the skin. Once you start seeing it affect the skin, you can stop. Okay, so we've properly selected this image, the yellows, without having to go the long way to mask it out yourself. It takes time to do that. So after doing this, just click OK. My fuzziness is in 40. That's why I keep it 40. So now this is what happens. The selection has been made. You use color range to select the colors. Now why I said you shouldn't do it here is so that if peradventure you did this and then we still have some parts that are not being selected. This is yellow and it's not being selected, so you can actually come in here and add your selection to it. Add all these parts to it. Where you have this one not selected, just add to the selection. Yeah, so that's literally it. So we come here now and press Ctrl I on your keyboard. Now when you press Ctrl I, it uses the mask to replace on the mask layer. Now Ctrl D, just to hope you understand what I'm saying. Now if you look at this mask right here, it shows that it's being revealed on the skin. Yeah, because we selected and we did Ctrl I, which is the inverse mask selection. Get? So having done that, if you didn't do that way, let's return it back. If you come down here and press mask on its own, okay, this mask here already, so you cannot add another mask. So let's just do it the way we did before. So if you did this Ctrl I and this happens, don't panic. What you need to do is invert it again. Just Ctrl I again without the selection. Get? Let me go back and explain it. Okay, so after the selection, after you are done with the color range selection, what you do is press Ctrl I. Make sure this selection is on the mask and press Ctrl I. And what that does is to invert the mask, the selected area, and mask it. So that is to say it is being applied to the skin where you have this white, but you want it to be applied on the back. So you can Ctrl D to deselect this, and then still on that same mask, press Ctrl I. It will invert the mask. You can see that now the white is now facing the background, is on the background. That's to say it's revealing on the background. So if you show on this, you see it applies only to the yellow. See that, right? Yeah, that's it. So now you do the same thing to the red of this. Don't select the mask, come here and right click and go to color range and select the red, add to it to select the different fields, different levels. Just select it. Don't go into the black. We have same stuff on the skin, so you can undo that. Make sure you have a smooth selection. Trying to go back. Okay, so if you selected something like this and it's showing this, you can actually come here to minus and then just subtract the skin out, and then you can come back here and add it again. Now don't, when you start seeing it entering under the skin or another place, you can stop. Now you can do this, click OK, and that same thing happens, and you know what to do when that happens. But if you don't want to waste this time, this part is just a little part, just the mouth. Instead of you going to this long to this other direction to go and be doing the color range, you can actually mask it yourself. You know, bring your brush and then mask it. But let's do this. Let's Ctrl I and make it apply on the lips. Now that has been applied to the lips. You see this? It's been applied to the lips. Why I like this is because it's also understanding and following the depth in terms of colors. It's not applying it evenly. It's also looking at the depth where we have the darker parts of the lips and stuff like that. So that's why I prefer to go about it the color range and not masking it completely. So we do the same thing on the green. This green is quite simple. You can just pick your brush and just mask it in. It's not going to affect the skin because the skin is very different from the background or the green there. So just you can just turn this on literally without it affecting anything, without masking it yet, because it's just on the color green. But if it was also affecting the outfit or the flower, you can do the same thing as well. But for here, it's not. So we have all of them in position. You can go back and do adjustment to any of the colors you've touched. You get any of the colors you've touched, you can go ahead and do any adjustment to it. Okay, so after you're done with that, let's see. This is the before and after. That's a pretty nice job. Okay, so there's one color we've not touched, which is the black. Let's open up our group again and then go to selective color and go to black. Now let's adjust this, see what this does. Some people might want to have a cinematic look and a different kind of feel for the black, but I'll stick to, you know, popping up colors and making the black look black. And you can also do as well as adding a little bit feel of some other colors to the black to make it look nice. See, the black is just being applied to the black areas. So that's literally how I color grade my images and skin tone them. So I do this often in all my images, especially the ones I really need to take time to work on, and then each colors I need to look at each color separately so I can do adjustment to it anytime I want to. So having done this, I'm done with the colors. So I can come here just to balance things up, select my exposure where I have the gamma correction, and just come in here and then put this in a bit, to add that general and general darkening on everything to make it look nice. Okay, so that's it for this image. We've done the color grading, we've looked at the skin tone, and we've looked at the eye whitening, dodge and burn, and frequency separation. Like I said, this image is edited in a non-destructible way. Nothing is being destroyed. I can actually go in and off my frequency separation. You see that? I can on it back. I can make adjustment to it if I want to. Now the next thing I want to show you is how to how to liquefy. Most of you don't liquefy your images, but it's really nice if you can do that properly, because we have some edges here which are not, they don't look nice at all. You can do a little work on those areas and mask them off, or use your liquifying tool and make them look nice. So I'm going to do that. How I do that is I create a stamp visible layer. I'm not going to flatten the entire image. I'm going to create a stamp visible layer by pressing Ctrl Shift Alternate E. I repeat that, Ctrl Shift Alternate E. Once you press that, your Photoshop will flatten the entire image and put it up as a layer, still retaining all these other layers. This is what I mean. See, this layer is now, everything here has been flattened and kept as a layer here without me having to flatten any of this. Get? So if I want to apply anything to this layer without making this other guys useless, because if I should apply anything here like this, if I want to go back here, I'll have to delete this layer because I can't have access to these ones unless I delete this layer. Get? So to make things easy for me, if I want to go back to this layer, I'll have to convert this layer 3 to a smart layer. Now what a smart layer is whenever you work on a smart layer, it saves the adjustments and everything you've done on that layer. It saves it. It's not merged into the image, the layer. It's saved, so you can actually remove it or add it again or remove it to another layer. You get? So doing that will give me that liberty, to, if I want to go back to any of these stuffs down here, I can actually off the layer, go back here and do the adjustment, then create another stamp visible layer, convert it to smart object, and then move all the adjustments I did on the layer to the new stamp visible layer without having to worry about how to do all the adjustments again. Get? So it's that simple, guys. So that's for a class. I just wish this will open up fast. I don't want to make this video long. Already it's long. So that's for the color grading skin tone. Make sure you ask your question if there's something I've not explained very well, or there's something you don't understand. Do well to let me know. I don't mind doing another video just to explain that particular stuff. You get? This is the essence of being in this class, because you need to understand, you need to learn. I need to make sure that you understand everything that I have taught. And probably I would like to see a picture you guys have done so far. By tomorrow, I would like to see a picture you have done using all these tips, the actions I gave you, to have that image done. So from there, if I see your work, I might have what to correct you on. You get? If you also have your question, make sure you ask. And then after this video, after today's class, the assignment will be for you to submit, edit a portrait, any portrait of your choice that is sharp, edit it, and then send it to me, and I'll look at it and then tell you what you've done wrong and what you've gotten right. I think that's how we learn. Okay, so that's it. I'm just waiting for, okay, it's done. Just converted it to a smart layer, and why it took time. But you can come to your filter, to your liquify, and that will open up. So we make some adjustments to the shape of the head. The head looks not round, it has some distortion. So this is liquify. You can come here, make sure you select this particular tool here, okay, the forward wrap tool, then come to the head parts. Let's just bring this down a bit just to make it look round, and then take it up again. Just make sure, just to have a nice job, you need to do this, just to have a nice job. Get? So just pushing these parts that are inside out a bit. You get, so this is just to make the image look nice. Okay, so we do that to the skin as well, pushing this in and this part in, and then here a bit, and this outfit here a bit. Okay, can also do some work here. Okay, so that's just a simple adjustment, and if you look at it, the before and after, you see a difference in this image right now, before and after, just to make your image look nice. So that's it, guys. When you're done, just click OK, and it will save that in. And then even if you want to do any other adjustments, you can go to your Camera Raw, make some adjustments, you know, add whatever you want to add to it, yet all to make the picture look really nice. So guys, that's all for this class, and let me go ahead and add some one other thing. I don't know, this video is gonna be long, but I have to do it. I want you guys to make sure it gets the understanding. So I'm going to go ahead to my Camera Raw for the last time and do some adjustments so you understand. So let's wait for Liquify to finish up. You see, once that finish up, you see it adds it to this layer. It's not flattened on the layer, but it adds it as an adjustment. See, look at it, smart filter. So this is Liquify. You can off Liquify on and off without having to delete the layer or do whatever to it. So that's the function of a smart layer right there. So you can, you know, off it and on it again. You can add another thing to this particular layer and it will be attached to this layer but not flattened to it. Get? So the next one we'll be looking at is Camera Raw. Camera Raw will also do the same thing. It will also bring it down here as a smart filter inside the smart object. Okay, so it won't be flattened to it. So let's go to our Camera Raw. Sometimes I do use Camera Raw to make the final, you know, adjustments to my images before transferring it to my phone or posting it. This video is getting long. Let's just do this for the last time. Oh, it's taking time, it's taking time, it's taking time. Oh. Okay, it's up. So you can come here and do any adjustments you want. You want to increase the temperature of the image, you can do it, or bring it down. You can still do that, you know, tints, and so a whole lot of stuff to actually do here. You can come, I like to come here and then pop up some things, green and blues. Then you can also add this effect vignette to it if you want to see this effect. You can also add it if you want to add it to the image. Just get creative on what you're doing. See this and this, it actually looks nice, gives concentration to the face. So click OK and that will be applied to it, and you see it's been added to this part, so you can choose to, you know, remove it anytime you want it without having to destroy these other layers here. So guys, that's all. This video is already long and I don't want to make it more longer than this. So guys, if you don't understand anything, just to let me know, and I don't mind going to do a video or using audio to explain it to you guys better. Alright guys, so see you guys in class for your questions, and I'll probably answer all of them. Thank you very much. See ya.